All right, welcome back to another video in the version control or Git chapter. We are getting close to wrapping this chapter up, but I wanted to show you something else called a pull request, because you're likely to encounter a pull request, especially when you're new in a job, or it may just be you may just use pull request regardless if you're new or not. So let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going to go ahead and jump over to my screen. And I will kind of go through a scenario with you just to kind of explain what a pull request is and why it's useful. So if I go ahead and let's say before I do anything, let me just get my service Apache 2 stuff. I just need to get my server up and running, so you go ahead and do the same thing for you. Don't do the line I just did. You don't have to do that. You just do the opt lamp examp start. And then so now my server's up and running. So I'm gonna go ahead and clear this. Make sure you are in the working directory of the version control example project that we're doing here. And go ahead and type git branch and just make sure you are on the master branch. Okay, and it'll say master here, and it'll have like an asterisk to let you know that I am on that branch. So let's say I'm a new developer at a company or a junior developer, and I've been tasked with changing, let's say, the font color on the website. Well, I wouldn't go in and create my changes on this master branch. What I would do is I would create a branch that I can work on. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm just going to put git checkout -b. Now this will create me a new branch, and I'm going to call this branch change styles, something like that. And then I'm going to hit enter. And now it says that I'm on the new branch change styles. And in fact, if I type in git branch, you can see that I have two branches on my local machine now, and it has the asterisk next to the change styles, and that's also green, so it lets you know that I'm now working in the change styles. So let's go ahead and do our work. This is a pretty simple assignment they've given me. So I'm just going to go to the styles.css, and the color was set to white. And they decided that the graphics design team decided that they want this to be F3, F3, F3. Oops. Okay. Now I've made changes. So if I go back here and I do a git status, it'll tell me that I've modified this styles.css, and this is not a staged file yet. So I need to go ahead and stage this, and I do this with the git add command, and I'm lazy, so I'm going to use the period, so that just adds everything. I'm then going to do a git diff here, and it'll show that I have no new changes, that's not added. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a git status again, and you can see that now this is green, and it's also because this is staged. This is ready to be committed. So I'm pretty happy with my work. So I'm going to go ahead and commit my changes. So I'm going to type git commit -m, and we'll give it a commit message. I'm going to say updated font color. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and push that. So I'm going to do a git push. Now the first time that we push this isn't going to work. And it's going to say fatal, and it's going to give us a problem. It's saying because there's no branch on our remote called change styles. So we actually have to set up that branch on the remote. And so it actually gives us the full command here that we need to do. So I can just copy, and I can even paste that and hit enter. And now that will create that branch. See, it adds a new branch to the GitHub. So if I go now, and let's just look at my GitHub real quick. 1 second here. So if we look at the GitHub, we can maybe refresh. If I look in this list, now we have two branches. There's master and change styles. So there's my branch there. And if I go to this right here, to the home page of the code, it says that we have recent pushes made here, and I can compare and create a pull request right here. Now what a pull request is going to do, it is basically me requesting that they merge in my code. Okay, and so it's going to give them an opportunity to review my code and make sure my code is correct. And if it's not correct, they can communicate that with me. So let's go ahead, and I can either do it by clicking here, and that's the easy way to do it. The other thing is I'll show you, if you can click on the pull request up here, and we can create new pull request. And I can actually go ahead and put change styles, and I'm asking to merge that into master, just like this. And so I'll go ahead and create, and I can see my changes down here. See the diff, side-by-side diff down here of what I did. So I'm gonna go ahead and create a pull request. And this allows me to write a comment if I would like. I can just say, hey, I finished up that ticket, let me know what you think. And I'm going to close that, and I'm going to go ahead and click create pull request. Now what's going to happen is there's a pull request for this, and people who have the ability to merge that pull request in, say like the senior developers who are going to check my work, they can go ahead and look at this pull request. So they're going to go back to the code here, or they can go to the pull request. They see there is a pull request, and it's right here, so they can click on that. And they can see my comment, and it says, hey, I finished up that ticket. Let me know what you think. So they can go down now, and they can actually, let's see, they want to look at what the changes are. So they can, right here, there's the commits. So they can click that. They can look at my code and what I changed, and they can say, ooh, okay, I think I don't really like how he did the lowercase f's here, because our style guide says that we do all our hex codes with all uppercase letters. So he may go back to the conversation here, and he may say, hey, good job, but can you please update the hex code to use capitalized letters, and he'll hit comment. Now I'm the same person, so but this would be coming from the main developer at my job, and so now I could say, I could see this. I would get an email about this, and I would see this comment, and he would say, hey, please update this hex code to use capitalized letters. So now what I would do is I would go back to my code and say, okay, I'm just going to change these F's to all caps here, and hit save. And then I go back here, and let's just clear this out. If I do a git status here, you can see that I modified this, and I can actually even type git diff here, and you can see the diff right here in my terminal. The red is what it was, and then the green is what I added. So it basically removed this line and added this line. So basically it updated the lowercase f's to the uppercase f's. So I feel comfortable with that now, so I'm going to go ahead and add that, and then I'm going to commit that. And I'll give it a commit message of capitalized hex code. And then I can go ahead and push this. And because there's already a branch on the remote, I just need to type git push. Okay? And this will push that live. So now I can go back, and I could just, if I refresh the page here, I could leave another comment, but you can actually see that there's new changes available to look at. So I can either leave a comment and let the developer know that I've done that, but he can see this, that it has been changed, and it even tells him that it's been changed. So he can view the changes, and when he sees that, okay, this is correct, then what he can do, he can leave a comment here and say, looks good to me. And he can comment that, he can approve, the merges, or he can request changes. So I'm gonna go ahead and, you know what, let's not do that. Let's go to approve. How come I can't approve that? Oh, it's because I'm the author, but he could do that if he wanted. The problem is I'm the author, so I can't commit here. So let's say if I was a senior developer, I could just click approve there. But we'll put looks good to me. Now this is hard to visualize a little bit because I'm the same person. But there would be a dialogue back and forth here, and it would look correct. But right now it's just me going back and forth here. So he says looks good to me. So then the lead developer then could go ahead and click merge pull request. And he would just hit confirm merge. Now this has been merged into master. So now it'll give us this thing and it says, hey, this pull request is successfully merged. You can delete the branch because you don't want these stale branches sitting around anymore. This branch has been merged back into the master branch. So there may not be a reason to keep this anymore. So you could just go ahead and click delete branch there, and it will delete that branch. And in fact, if I go back to the version control here and we look in here, that branch is now gone. But let's go back here. And now we are going to want to git checkout master because we're getting ready to do something else. But now if I do a git fetch, it's going to tell me that I'm behind master. Maybe it didn't, but let me just go ahead and do a git status now. I'll do a git fetch and a git status, and it says that I'm behind master by 3 commits. So now, because that has been merged in, I can do a git pull from the remote, and now those style changes are there. Now, what's really cool about this is I still have, so now like I've safely had my code reviewed and merged into the master branch, and it's ready to deploy. I no longer need that branch on my local machine. So if I type in git branch here, I can see that I still, even though we deleted that on the remote, I still have this branch on my local machine. So if I don't need that on my local machine anymore, I need to make sure that I'm checked out to another branch. And I can actually type git branch -D and then put in the name of that branch, and this will delete that branch on my local machine. So now if I do git branch, it's going to say that I'm checked out to master, and that's the only branch I have on my machine. So now if I go back to the styles though, even though I'm here on master, we've merged that other code in. So now this value is F3, F3, F3. And in fact, if we go back and we look at the page, these are indeed F3, F3, F3. You can see right here in the inspector. So all is well. We are ready to go. All right, so that is a pull request. Again, a pull request is just a way for us to, if we don't have privileges or whatever, maybe we only have read privileges, we can't write to the master branch or something, we can create a branch, or we can even, we can fork the project if we're not part of that project, and we can even make a pull request to projects that we have no ability to edit. And then they can choose whether or not to accept our code. And then if they do accept our code, and by the way, this is how most open source software is managed, where open source contributors will create pull requests to try to submit their code, and then the person who is or the people who are moderating the open source project will review their code and have a dialogue back and forth with you. And once they have approved it, they can merge it in and merge in the pull request, and then your code is then part of their Git history. So it's part of that commit and it's merged in. So I hope that makes sense, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Please comment, like, and subscribe if you're enjoying these videos, and give me a thumbs up. Let me know if I do want to mention that if you're confused or whatever, don't worry too much about it. We're going to do so much of this going throughout the rest of the series that this is going to stick, but this is a hard subject to teach, especially in the beginning. So it's kind of a catch-22 where it's hard to understand this until you know it, and it's hard to know it until you've used it. So we're going to do enough repetition where you know this. So if you're confused right now, don't give up. Don't let this be your stumbling block, guys. Just let me know in the comments what you think. If you learned anything, if it's fuzzy, if it's muddy, or if it's real clear, let me know how I'm doing teaching this stuff. I know it's just a real hard thing to teach, this version control stuff, especially when I don't have a lot of examples of different team members working on the code. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.